Oh, there we are. There we are. How are you, sir? Hi, Marco.
There he is. Hey,
Hi.
Art, great to see you.
Great to see you.
What a beautiful background you have. Look at that sky.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah, we're sitting here at Armando's, which is our favorite Mexican Cubano restaurant. And
Okay.
I just had ceviche with crispy tostones. I want to tell you something. One thing you appreciate when you've been locked up all this time, you really appreciate good, delicious food. I mean, they said the number one food people missed during the whole pandemic was Mexican. Did you know that?
I believe it. I actually had it yesterday, and I
Oh,
believe
did
that
you?
because that's something that we all have on a regular basis, tacos or anything.
Right.
Yeah,
It's so interesting, like our country, how we love all this food of the world. I just think that, the world is America, and the food that we eat is America.
hmm I agree. I agree. Last time we met up on here, Art. So
Uh-huh.
many things have changed in the world since then. As you know, the tragic death of George Floyd,
Yeah, very tragic.
and everywhere our hearts are with the family. And
Much.
Black Lives Matter, the protests that have been going on all around. I know here at my house, we've had lengthy conversations with our kids about the importance of supporting a movement like that. How have you handled that situation at home?
Well, our children all have questions about it and concerns, and bless their hearts, they themselves are come from various backgrounds and stuff. My children are Mexican Cubano, and they also feel too, like, why are we having problems like this at this age? And I think that, like, I come from a family of police officers, and I'm very, I have a lot of admiration, respect for the families, and just because you know, there could be this one bad cop. I don't think all cops are bad. I mean, I just think that this was just I don't know. I mean, I do think that we need to really reevaluate things, and really, how can we, you know, how can we better, and my heart goes out to the families, to his Floyd's family, and it's very, very sad. I mean, his daughter, I love that piece. I'm sure everyone saw, My Father Changed the World.
And
Um, I think that, brutality, and against people it's much more than we realize, and I think these are it's sadly, a life was lost, but this is, if we do something about it, that person's, sacrifice, death is not done in vain. That we can actually hopefully change the world through these things. I don't know. For me, I'm a chef, and I just my whole thing is I just want to feed people to make them happy.
right.
Food is love. Food is peace. Food brings us together.
Mhm.
This is the month of Pride. I mean, Pride is a protest. And so I think that living in this great country that we live in, you know, it's important that we as Americans, that we may not agree, but we all should feel safe that we can voice how we feel.
Right.
And the reality is that, equality for everyone. Everyone needs equality, and I just, I grew up in the South, and I was raised by a beautiful, beautiful African American woman, Leila Curry, who I truly, she's gone now, but I truly miss her, and I miss all her love and what she gave to me, and I remember as a small child and hearing her, and she would we were watching the stories, as she called them, and there would be a the television would be, they would there's a special news announcement, and
Uh-huh.
usually it was during an era when it was during the civil rights movement, and I would look at to her and I say, Leila, I said, what's going on, honey? And she said, honey, people got to learn to love each other, and that's
Wow.
all she said, and I've kept her memory, through the love of food, and also the love to love. And she taught me that. And I was very fortunate to continue that love through all these other amazing women of color that I have worked for, from Oprah Winfrey to Michelle Obama, all these different people who have taught me so many things.
Yes.
I just want to, and the food that I love and I enjoy and that I cook comes from the African American culture. and I would not be able to cook this food if it wasn't for these great women that taught me. And I'm grateful, and I'm grateful to the community for teaching me.
And it's all about awareness. I love, and your love for the food and the backgrounds of these foods comes across when you're making it. You can feel that. And I love your message. It's basically one of acceptance. And that's
Yeah.
something that all of us around the world can learn from. So let me ask you, we also, last time we talked about, COVID-19 hasn't gone anywhere. It's still around. And at the time, you have many restaurants. Many of them weren't even open. We talked about Homecoming at
Right.
Disney Springs. What is the current situation?
Well, we're still not open. Or hopefully we will be open soon. We opened one restaurant called Splitsville Southern Social in Tampa, where you can go and have some of the dishes that I'm known for. It's going well. That it's still business is still not as what it was when before COVID, but we're open and people are enjoying themselves. I think that the restaurant industry has been really profoundly changed by what's happened. I mean, I think it's important that everyone, I know you're sick and tired of being home with your kids. I know you are, and you're sick and tired of cooking. So
Yeah.
go out and eat in the restaurants. And you know what? Let's face it, whatever restaurant you choose is your business and doesn't make any difference upon price point or nothing. You just go and enjoy yourself and be kind to your server or be kind to that cashier because they've gone through a lot. And we're in times of that when times get tough, this is times that we come together as people and really, really give all the love we can, and I think it's truly, truly important.
That absolutely, I agree with you. And talking about food, you have experienced some tremendous weight loss through this pandemic. And I mean, we're talking more than 70 pounds, Art. I'm wondering, I know that you had a little bit of help with a special coach, Coach Lucas, that is. Tell me about that process and how you made it so successful.
Well, I'm very fortunate. I'm sure you've seen the stories and everything. I I invited my friend from Argentina. He's a pro rugby player, Lucas Cancelier,
Mhm.
and I was complaining about my weight, and he said, "Why don't you do something about it?" And I said, "Well, I don't know how to start." He said, "Let me give you some tricks of being a pro athlete, and this is what I do." He said, "I want you to go out and walk," and where
Okay.
we were able to walk, and I was also able. And as I walked, it took. I want to tell you something. I had a many a coming to Jesus moments. Okay, that's what Oprah calls them when you're just like, okay, I have had enough, and then
Yes.
walking turned into a jog, and
Okay.
then Lucas said, "Let me help you. Let me give you some little routines that will help you." And so he started helping me with that. And we were going to the gym. I'd go with him to the gym to work out because pro athletes, they just gotta work out all the time. They just gotta work all the
All
time,
the time.
all
Exactly.
the time. I mean, it's their business.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so Lucas, so what happened was the gym's closed. We're at home. We can't go out. And Lucas says, "You know what? We're gonna get a yoga mat." So we had yoga mats, and we started working out on yoga mats. So the majority of the weight that I lost was on the yoga mats, and so to date now I've lost 80 pounds.
That is, that is incredible.
Yeah.
I got to clap. That is incredible for you, Art.
Thank you.
And
I mean,
that
if you
tone
can kind of
factor.
see here, you can kind of see here, kind of side view. You know what I mean? Like, hello, 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 hello.
There you
I
go.
mean, I'm 60 years old, so I'm trying to. I told my kids, I said, you do not want me to see me like go away soon. I said, "No, Poppy, we don't." And
Oh,
so I've tried really hard to, it's the hardest part for me about this whole journey and fitness and weight loss and everything
yeah.
is that
Mhm.
I always feel like I'm being a little selfish I want to I'm trying this week. I'm spending a lot of time with my children, and they themselves need love and my attention and stuff, and so it's tough being a dad, but I have but thank God I have a great wonderful partner. I have wonderful friends that help
Yeah.
me um, with my kids, and so we're getting there.
Well, let's talk about, I know, like you mentioned, it is Pride Month. June is Pride Month. How long have you and Jesus been married?
20 years.
Okay, that's
Okay,
another,
no, we
I
got
got to give
married
you
10 years ago, but together 20 years. Yes, 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 yes.
that's
Yeah.
incredible. So, I mean, what does the support of the LGBTQ community mean to you? I know you're a big advocate, but what does it mean to you to have them behind you, supporting you all this way?
Well, we've been at this a long time, and him and I were both very active in bringing equality to Florida and to Illinois. I threw, marriage protests of married 101 couples, and I went after corporations which were saying not so kind things and turned around their friends now. Um, you know, it's to me, equality is a never-ending battle. I think that humanity, and we all need equality, and yes, you can see what we're going through now is that feeling of not feeling equal, and I think that we have to keep that message going. We have to instill it in our children. We
Yes.
have to, really, 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 really express to them the importance of treating each other kindly and beautifully. I mean, kids in general, they love to go after each other, and but what I do love about my kids are, and many things, but what I do love is that when they go and play, they play with every child, and they love playing with people of all different backgrounds. It makes no difference how much money or anything, none of that. All they care about is just having a good time. That's all they care.
And that's what it should be. That's what it should be. And I can see the love in the pictures you post of your
Right.
family. I love that. You're also a huge fan of music. And I have to talk about your friend, Lady Gaga, with her new single, Rain on Me. Art, I have to hear, what do you think of that song?
I love it. This is a one with that she did
Ariana
with
Grande.
Ari Grande. It's fabulous. I mean, I want to tell you something. When you got two fabulous women like that, these two fabulous pop star queens, how could you not have great music? I mean, I'm telling you something, right? It's really, truly, truly amazing. And I've, been following her career, and her father and I are partners. And I think she's just absolutely the most talented, lovely woman, and just really just what she's done, and it's one of my most favorite. I also like Stupid Love a lot too. I love that she's returning back to her roots with a
Yes.
lot of her music, because one of my most favorite concerts in the whole world is going to her concerts, because you know what, she gives you a reason to get up out of your seat,
I've
because
been to
you'll
her
dance,
concert. Yeah.
dance, dance, dance. I mean, it's really great. But she's a remarkable woman, and she has a remarkable kindness foundation that she and her beautiful mother, Christina, um, her and Cynthia Germanata have worked really hard on her mother, and it's really, really amazing. And they really have really created this wonderful foundation that's whole message is bringing kindness to the world. And
Hmm.
she truly is all that.
And that's something we should all live by. And I know RuPaul is somebody you're still waiting to meet. That's
Oh
got to
yeah, I
be.
love me some RuPaul. So hopefully we'll get to meet her one day, and she's really fabulous, and I think she's amazing, and I think she's crossed over into you know into our culture, and so beloved, and all the great things that she's done to bring the importance of the acceptance of transgender to America and to the world.
Yeah,
She's there. There are a lot of great LGBT Americans who've done tremendous things to help bring equality and pride to the cause.
absolutely. I don't want to ignore all the people joining us. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining
Hi.
me and Art. They have a couple questions. Somebody said, what is Oprah really like since you worked with her as her personal chef for so many years?
Well, my favorite answer to that is, would I have worked for her for almost 10 years if she
Okay.
wasn't nice and wasn't fun? Oh, she's everything. She was the best boss to ever have. She's remarkably lovely,
Wow.
incredibly smart. And I was thinking the other day when she and I have conversation, there were no such things as smartphones. Okay, I remember when she got her first smartphone and learning to use it. I mean, I think it's really amazing.
That's
She's,
amazing.
she's the kind of person that she focuses on you, and takes the time to have that conversation, which I think is so wonderful. I love her. My favorite summer dish, someone's asked, Chef. I
Yeah.
have to say, I love myself a tomato sandwich, just fresh tomatoes sliced with some mayonnaise and some really good bread. Honey, please, you got summer on the bun. It's delicious.
Summer on, and you've been doing that awesome podcast where you're showing yourself making some dishes. Tell us about that so people can join you.
Well, what I do is every Wednesday, 4 o'clock Eastern time, we have a show. And in fact, one of the great things that Lucas Canceller taught me, he
Mhm.
taught me that not to be afraid to show myself on Instagram Live. And so I created, with him as executive producer, the show Chef Art Smith's Healthy Comfort. And Healthy Comfort was based on a book that I wrote a few years ago. But the idea is showing people that you can be healthy and have your comfort. And so every Wednesday, like this Wednesday, I'm really excited. I have the very talented, one of the most famous bakers in the world, Apollonia Poilon, a Poilon bakery in Paris. If you go to Paris, you go to this bakery. This young woman inherited this business at a very young age, and she has kept the bread and the bacon in the oven. And I'm telling you, she is absolutely remarkable. And I was with her during the Michelle Obama tour, and she came on stage and spoke, and she's just really tremendous. She's a young, beautiful woman who's worked really hard. And we're going to make tartine. What are tartines? Tartines are beautiful open-faced French sandwiches, absolutely delicious, and you can put anything on them. And she's got some really exciting things we're going to put on them. And I hope you all join us, because this woman, when you think of bread and when you think of classical, delicious bread, yes, it is Apollonia.
Ooh, that sounds good. And somebody also asked about your cookbooks. I know my wife has many of your cookbooks, and she cooks from them all the time. What is your favorite of your cookbooks? So somebody's asking about that.
Well, I love Back to the Table. That was my first one. And I love Back to Family, because there's actually real pictures of my family in it. Yeah. The first book, we did it very quickly, and so we have friends. But the book, Back to Family, I have my family. We shot it all in my little hometown of Jasper, Florida. We're actually in a little town called Live Oak, and it's about 18 miles away. We're here in Jasper. Everything delicious is 18 miles away. We have a wonderful, wonderful cafe that friends of mine just opened, called Hatley Street Cafe, that's absolutely amazing. Ooh. That you would just love. And they have the most delicious homemade desserts that'll make you see Jesus. They're so good. It's the only place you can either drive 3 hours or you can fly more than 3 hours to get hummingbird cake. And she makes it beautiful, and it's absolutely delicious. I inspired from my recipe. And then she makes the most amazing other things. She makes some cream puffs that is good as anything you get in France. And and her daughter makes the most beautiful macarons that you ain't going to get that in this area. But we made them the other day together, and she made rosewater ones that were just so delicious.
They sound incredible. Well, it's so great to see you at one of your restaurants that is actually open again. Again, that's Armando's. Is that the one you're at right now?
Well, this is not my restaurant, but it's my favorite restaurant. I just had ceviche, and I had ceviche, and I had tostones. No, I haven't done Mexican yet, but I love it. I have two very talented Mexican American chefs that probably could do an incredible Chef Art Smith Mexican, which would be great. Coconut cream pie or coconut cake. Oh, honey, please. You just named me. That is delicious. I love coconut cream pie and coconut cake. You know, I have a great recipe that my friend Edna Lewis taught me that has lemon curd between the layers. Lord have mercy. Coconut cream pie. Delicious.
Wow. I'm watching all those comments. And we had dessert, my family and I, at homecoming at Disney Springs. Oh, you made a whole table full of desserts. We were so stuffed, but I'm telling you, I couldn't stop eating. Amazing.
Well, it's important. You know, the great thing about desserts is they remind us of the sweetness of life.
You're right. I love that. Well, Art, you know what? I'm so glad we had a chance to catch up again. You are my first guest on the couch, and it's always good to see you.
Well, it's truly, truly great to see you again, Marco. And just remember, darling, that, you know, we'll get past all this. We always have to keep, if we don't really teach, you know, a positive, you know, that positivity and not really look for that you know, that light, we won't have it. We have to keep that in our lives, and we all can get past things. I mean, I have my own personal things I have to get past, but we can. And all it takes is a love. And if you love yourself and you love your family and you love what you do, with love, you can survive anything.
So well said. And congratulations on your healthy weight loss as well.
Thank you so very much. And look for us. We're coming up on a big show this week, Extra, Lucas Consolero and I, and we're also taping for another friend of mine for her talk show. It'll come out. You'll see it. And I love the fact we're actually taping it in Jasper, Florida. Yeah. In my kitchen there at my friend's beautiful arts and crafts cabin. It's called Gigi, Bungalow Gigi. Very beautiful. Okay, y'all. It was a pleasure, Marco. Thank you.
Bye, Art. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you as always for joining me. I'm Marco Gonzalez, and I'll see you next time right here on the couch. Take care.